Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. This is your timeless reading, meaning whenever you find this reading, there may be a message in it for you. If you hear a little jingling in the background, it's my little cat. She likes to eat while I record, so I apologize if that's briefly distracting. So let's go ahead and get right into this reading. Don't forget to look at the numerology of the reading, the timestamps, the date, because all of that may have some channeled guidance in there for you. We are going to be using the Starseed Oracle deck, and we are going to clarify with tarot and then clarify anything else with the empath oracle, the empathic oracle. Okay. Okay, so we have weight of the world, boundaries, let this go. It's not yours to carry. And on the bottom of the deck, we have Star Keeper, cosmic ancestor, see the light by staying grounded. Okay, so the individual who is coming to this reading has definitely been going through a deep soul transformation, and there are a lot of karmic elements of your life that are being addressed at this time. Okay, so there's also lots of air energy in this: Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. But the air energy is more so talking about the themes of what's going on right now and less about those signs in particular, though you may have some of those placements. It's talking about communication in your relationships. It's talking about fairness in your relationships, and it's talking about evolving your relationships, because there is this element of a lack of boundaries in relationships, this energy of codependency, this energy of being emotionally enmeshed with the person that you're with, that ancestrally you have come here to break that karmic cycle, essentially. Okay. There's just this energy of having used codependency for the most part in life, being very reliant on the emotions of someone else sort of regulating your system. There is this, because there's this water energy, okay, in this reading. This person is floating in water. She seems peaceful, right? But the energy that I'm getting from this reading is that they're used to floating in other people's waters, and they're used to not having boundaries with that, and it's time to realize what is not yours to carry and what is. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and clarify that message. And again, if you hear any scuffling in the background, it's about 2 o'clock in the morning when I'm recording this reading, a little after 2, and my little cat, she likes to make a scuffle. Okay, so wow. Okay, so we have the Eight of Swords and the Judgment in reverse. Okay, so part of the reason why this particular period has been a struggle for you when it comes to breaking these karmic cycles is because you have actively held yourself back from addressing these things. We have more air energy with the swords in the reading. So yes, you may have a prominent Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra placement, but for me, this is more so speaking to mentally, that on some level, the way that you relate in your relationships is holding you back personally. Okay. But there's this fear of realizing that. There's this fear of that mental introspection. Like that's the energy, that Aquarian energy, where it's like, we need you to think about what this has created in the long run. Is this an evolved way for you to be communicating and relating with people? Because you can feel that it holds you back, the level of emotional enmeshment that you have in your relationships, where what you decide and what you do is dependent on your partner and their emotions, and there is this lack of wanting to really accept that realization, because I do feel like there is some shame with that, where it's like we kind of always prided ourselves on being our own person. And so coming to the realization that we actually rely heavily on other people to emotionally regulate us is a little bit, the ego is struggling with that, right? But again, this is karmic. This is something that you came here to do. This is something that you came here to address. This isn't happening because this is a personal failure for you. This is happening by design. It's happening because this is in your script, and it wasn't put into your life to hinder you forever. It was put into your life so that you can ground your own self through your own emotions and your own introspection and your own intuition, and learn how to disconnect from codependent dynamics. Okay, wow. So, I'm pulling these clarifiers, and we have so much air energy in this reading because your spiritual team is ready for you to speak your truth. Your spiritual team is ready for you to speak confidently. Okay. And we have this Queen of Swords energy. So while that is feminine air energy, it's about the discernment of a queen. Okay. And we have the Knight of Cups in reverse. Okay. And there is like this energy of emptiness, right? Of empty promises, empty emotions that has felt very safe, because these energies are clarifying why there has been a lack of boundaries, okay? And we're coming to this realization that the falseness of emotions in our connections has kept us safe, okay? And we're going to clarify that with the empathic deck for a second, because what's so interesting is one thought that being enmeshed with someone emotionally, feeling like you have control over other people's emotions, or you can anticipate other people's emotions, it felt like before this clarity that was what it meant to be in relationship to people. But now there's this understanding that the need for it actively holds you back, but also you're cultivating relationships with people who do things from a place of empty emotions. So like, let's say like you're in a relationship and this person is asking something of you. You're realizing that this isn't coming from a place of depth. It's just coming from like a need. It's coming from an entitlement. It's coming from a desire to play in these emotions but not really live the truth of these emotions. And so there's also been this element of safety because you're emotionally enmeshed in the situation that you know is emotionally empty, so you don't actually have to address yourself or address your real emotions. You can just sort of hide. Wow, okay, let's clarify that. Okay, to clarify, we've got beginnings and crowd surfing in the reverse position, 5, 3, and 30. So an 8 and a 3, where you may be seeing 11, you may be seeing 8, you may be seeing 3, you may be seeing 5s. But the issue here that I'm seeing is one of the reasons why you have relied on this way of being is because and this is changing, right? Because the crowd surfing is coming in the reverse position, but you care deeply about what other people think. You have lived a lot of your life based on the opinions of other people. And this is something that like people would not assume about you, okay? They think that you have this level of like discernment and wisdom, which is why it's the Queen of Swords, whether you resonate as masculine or dominant, okay? They think that you have discernment, but the truth of that was really that you were just listening to what other people felt was acceptable, okay? And now you're at this place where that is changing, where the other energy that you are relying on to emotionally feel safe is now not outside entities. There is a third energy that's coming in to ground you, but it's coming from internal. It's a spiritual guidance. It's not it's not external, okay? Okay, and this is coming in when we're clarifying grounding this energy. Okay, with a 9 and a 7, 9 of Pentacles in reverse, 7 of Wands in reverse. Okay, there has been a level of defensiveness when it comes to creating these boundaries emotionally. And this may be people being defensive with you, like you putting up new ways of interacting with people. They don't like that. They're used to dealing with you without boundaries. So, obviously, you with boundaries is inconvenient for them, right? But you're internalizing this as you not being enough or giving enough to certain people because they are pushing back on your need for emotional boundaries, your need to not share everything that you're thinking, everything that you're feeling, your need to, you don't need them to qualify your desires anymore, and you're grounding that, but you're receiving pushback potentially from outside energies who are uncomfortable with that and who want you to go back to having this guard that is down, and who want you to go back to depleting yourself in order to maintain some level of emotional consistency with them. Okay, so what is coming with this energy? More water energy. Okay, so lots of water, lots of air. So Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, and lots of karmic energy. So this is really in a state of flux. It's in a state of flow because there are days when you are more discerned and you understand that your boundaries are healthy. And then there are days where you fall back into, wow, wow, air and water, where you fall back into the depth. I've also seen 12-12, okay, because what's happening is you're being prepared for a higher level of a relationship. You're being prepared for a relationship where emotional and mental communication is fluid. And so in order for you to be actively prepared for that, you're having these lack of boundaries be worked out in these karmic connections that you've had with people. Could be relationships, friends, or family, but there are definitely energies of relationships cycling out because there's a new cycle coming in where the emotions are fluid, the mental clarity in the connection is fluid, and you no longer have to compromise, okay, your boundaries. And so your biggest takeaway from this reading is to know that these projections that you're feeling onto you from other people who are upset about these new boundaries, they're not meant to come with you on this new beginning, okay? And it's time for you to let those people go, okay? On the bottom of the deck, wow, we have 4 of Cups. So part of this has really left you emotionally discontent. And I want to clarify that before we close out this reading. Why has this left you feeling emotionally discontent? Okay, so part of the discontentment is because you're at a tension point. You're at a point where you're about to break through an old karmic threshold. And so, right when you're about to break through an old karmic threshold, it's like the older energies grip tighter and they try to rip you back down because they sort of subconsciously know that they are losing you. I saw 144 on the timer, so we may have some twin flames watching this reading. But the message is to go towards the sun, to go towards the light, to go towards the happiness, to go towards what you know is freeing you, and to sort of allow spilled milk to be spilled milk. Okay? Thank you so much for coming to this reading. If you're interested in a personal reading, you can find information in the description box below. Thank you again, and I will see you in the next one.